get back to Media Watch, though, and Paul Barry. And this week he also got very excited about body language experts and how shows, including my 5 o'clock show, The Kenny Report, had a bit of fun with the body language experts after the US presidential debate.
Yes, the body language expert, always available to highlight the signs you may have missed.
Generally, he was typical Donald Trump. He's only got a fairly limited repertoire. He uses his hands a lot to point at people. And Joe Biden, as a guy who sometimes he looked like the video had paused. He wasn't moving at all.
You have to laugh. Well, the media's love affair with so-called body language experts knows no bounds. Yes, it's as ridiculous as it is entertaining. And no public figure is too big or too small to avoid the treatment, as a very busy Louise Mahler knows.
Well, Dr. Louise Mahler is the expert we had on the Kenny Report. And given Barry said this is entertaining and that no public figure is too big or too small for analysis, we thought we'd get her to analyse Barry himself.
But now, let's go to Chris Kenny, who just loves to take pot shots at the ABC. Is it news? No way. Is it entertaining? Well, sure, if that's your thing. Chris, next time you slam the public broadcaster, maybe you could do some research first.
What would we make of that, do you reckon? I'm thinking smug twat, but let's see what Dr. Mahler discerns.
Look, you know, the whole theme of the program is to have discontent. And if one was having discontent, one would think it's the kind of punch. And then what you see here is the hand is clenched with the hand over the top and then on the desk. So that is the held punch, and that would be congruent with the bitter twist. And then most importantly for me, being a voice expert, is the mouth is sealed. So when the mouth doesn't open and it stays virtually closed, we get that kind of a withheld anger, a jaw tension. The lips tend to overreact when the mouth doesn't open. It's not a sharing, caring, and this would all be congruent with someone who is angry and contemptuous.
OK, so he's not sharing and caring, he's a bit angry and clenched. But Barry also does some little comedy pieces. Let's analyse them too.
Hi, I'm Paul Barry. Welcome to Media Bites. And let's get into the ring. Charming. Give that man a rose. Hooray! Yep, Joe avoided disaster. Talk about setting a low bar for president. Yes! The real winners are the advertisers. A kiss he'll never live down. Never gonna give you up.
Well, I'm thinking hyper wriggly, uncomfortably forced humour, but let's go again to the expert.
Actually, what's really interesting about that was the sealed teeth and the overactive lips. So even though we're going for an open body, the teeth are sealed, and that's interesting. We see that a lot in Australia, and we don't see it so much in Americans, who tend to prefer an open mouth of fun. The American smile. And I would have thought it would have been more congruent in this section to have had an open mouth of freedom. But to have freedom with a sealed mouth shows that it's not quite right.
You don't reckon, Dr. Louise Mahler, it's not quite right. There you go. It's been a big week for Paul Barry, exposed for misleading his viewers, some penetrating body language analysis. Oh, and of course, there's that 2% pay rise that the ABC voted to give themselves. Happy days. Let's go to Rebecca Weiser. You're our resident body language expert. Do you think he's getting a little tight under the collar?
Look, I think this is hilarious, although I have to say, while I was listening to Louise speak, I noticed that I had my mouth closed, and I tend to smile with my mouth closed. And let me give you a little tip why I do that, but most Americans don't. They pay a lot for those beautiful smiles, and I've never forked out for that wonderful, you know, dental treatment. So that's my secret there. You know, I think what this highlights is, you know, just the kind of scolding nature of the elite, you know, the nanny state and the guardians of telling us what's right and what's wrong, you know, and heaven forbid that anybody should have a little fun, but I do actually think with all this body language that there's some truth in it, to my mind, the big story was when the body language experts analysed Bill Clinton saying, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman."
Yeah, you could see the longing memories in his eyes. Jack, what I think this also highlights is that, you know, we spend $2 or $3 million a year, taxpayers, on Media Watch, and you pay Paul Barry a couple of $100,000 for 15 minutes a week, and like, this is the best they can do. Are there some serious issues, like perhaps admonishing their own organisation for ignoring that legal letter, for instance?
Yeah, I mean, that's to me the biggest problem. I mean, he clearly is a very weird person. The media bites in particular, it's just strange. I don't understand who greenlit that. Which producer went into a pitch and thought that this would be a good idea? I think every time he does it, he reduces himself. He's like the anti-intellectual of the ABC. He's everything that's wrong with the ABC. But more to the point, he doesn't understand news. He doesn't understand what a news story is. He doesn't think that it's important. He thinks that things, you know, his entire purpose is to shut down journalism and to criticise journalists for doing what they are supposed to do, bring you the news. And if only the ABC did that in Victoria, well, maybe Daniel Andrews would be held a little bit better to account.
Spot on. We'd love to have a chat to him on this show sometime, but in the meantime, thank you to Jack Houghton and to Rebecca Weiser. It's been great to have you on the show again.
Always a